Do you remember a few videos ago when I mentioned that I wanted to talk about why we built our new website just a year after the release of our last one? Well, the time has come. Hey everyone, it's Zach from Yaz, and yes, it is definitely time for me to tell you the story of why we rebuilt our website so quickly after building the last one. So, before we get into the details, Facebook has a famous catchphrase that I believe they stopped using in 2014, which was move fast and break things. Now, you'll find this kind of all over books and the internet, and lots of different people have talked about it, and people definitely take it all sorts of different ways. But to me, what it means is to entrepreneurs and startups, what's important is kind of freeing up your team to be able to innovate, try new things, do things quickly, and of course, break stuff. Now, when it comes to the work that we do for our clients, the people we build websites for, this is not the strategy we take. We obviously don't want to try breaking things and try new things that are untested with that. We definitely base all of our client work on things that we've seen work, things that we read, new innovations, that sort of thing. But when it comes to our own marketing, that's where we get a little bit more creative and experimental. So with our last website, one of the things that we wanted to do when we built it with our navigation was to keep it as few options as possible to make sure that people didn't feel overwhelmed. And while we were able to make it as few as possible, we only had 5 or 6. I'll have an image probably right here where I'm pointing if I'm good enough at editing. But the issue came in where we are a business with quite a few different services, and we needed a lot of different pages that had useful information. And what we ended up doing was sort of building out a maze for people who would try to find a specific page. So if you landed on our homepage and you wanted to learn about our web design, you would have had to have clicked services, which would have taken you to a services page that had all of our services kind of listed back and forth like that, and then found the one that you wanted to click on, and then click on it from there. So it's, even though it does still sound quite simple, and we thought back then that it would be simple, it's an extra click that people have to go to, and not only does that become a difficulty when people want to find a page the first time, but if they ever came back to try and find it a second time, they'd have to try and remember which steps did I go through. Because of that, of course, we were able to learn with our clients' websites that we wanted to make sure that everything was always accessible no matter what kind of viewer you had. So a lot of great did come from that. And so that's definitely the first main reason why we rebuilt our site so soon. The second reason that we rebuilt our site after only a year is that we started using a program in WordPress called Elementor. Now, Elementor is what you call a visual builder, and we've actually been building most of our client sites using Elementor for the last year. The reason for this is that when it comes to pages that involve mostly just text and images, so your information services pages, that sort of thing, you can edit those very easily without having any experience with a WordPress editor or any editor or really any code. So somebody like me who's not a developer can go in every time I have a wild idea for a new marketing page that I want to build, and if some of you have kept up with some of the videos that I've made, I do this quite often. I don't have to add this extra work to my developers queue. With our client websites, of course, that does also mean that it's easier for your team to make these sorts of text and content changes. When it comes to the custom functionality, we're still building that custom just like we always have, but Elementor makes it easy for the simple stuff to stay as easy as possible. So those are the two main factors that we took into consideration when deciding to rebuild our website so soon. Our industry changes so fast all the time, so it's very possible that by this time next year we'll realize that things have changed enough for us to need to do it again. I guess nobody can really ever predict that, but it's something that we always want to make sure that we can stay on top of. After all, we want to be on the cutting edge of innovation and new stuff in our industry. So if there are some things we have to do, some hours we have to spend keeping up, that's what we're going to do. We have to, of course, move fast and break things. All right, that's all I've got for today. let me know if there's anything specific you'd like me to talk about in the future. Otherwise, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.